Hello everybody and welcome back to another trip report. Today I'm here at Gladstone Regional Airport here in the coast of central Queensland. Today I'm going to be flying on a very exciting flight. I'm going to be trying out the Virgin Australia / Alliance Airlines Fokker 70 from here in Gladstone down to Brisbane in Queensland also. I'll explain a little bit more about the way that the Virgin / Alliance thing works, but for now I'm very early because I flew in earlier today and I decided to come to the airport a little bit early because I kind of ran out of things to do. So yeah, my flight is just up there, VA 1720 to Brisbane. Check-in's not nearly open, but we can probably still head through Airside and we'll probably be the only ones, which is interesting. We are now airside at Gladstone Regional Airport. There's plenty of nice seating. We are the only ones in this whole area. And there's a little cafe there. There's some, Bonza decorations since they had their first Gladstone flight earlier. Let's do a bit of plane spotting, eh? Here's an RFDS. I think it might be a PC-12. There we go. That concludes plane spotting here at Gladstone Airport. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to relax. There's lots of seating and a couple of places to charge your stuff. So yeah, I'll let you know when the plane arrives, I suppose. Okay, it's probably been a couple hours now. I've just discovered so there's sort of like a couple different sections. So the area where I was earlier, there's gate 2 and 3, and I believe they're used by Virgin Australia and now Bonza. And the gate 1 here, which is accompanied with like Qantas signage and also a Qantas regional lounge, which is interesting. I'm not sure if it's any. There's a sneak peek inside. It looks okay. It's not a proper lounge, but it's still certainly better than nothing. So that's something to think about, since Virgin definitely don't have one here. If you were paying attention earlier, you would remember that it was pretty sunny. And by the way, there's a nice looking private jet that's been there all day. But it's not exactly sunny anymore. In fact, there was more fog before, but now it's starting to get dark and a little bit of fog is about. And up here, you might have, at the start of the clip, I showed this. Our flight is delayed by half an hour. Our aircraft got swapped. I'll tell you more about the regos and stuff when our actual aircraft arrives, assuming it does arrive. So I'm not sure why it was swapped. And now the inbound flight's delayed 55 minutes. So they think they're going to make up 25 minutes. So yeah, 25 minutes somehow. So we'll see how that goes. I do have a connecting flight from Brisbane, so I do hope that it all goes okay. So basically the situation is our plane coming in has been delayed 80 minutes. It left Brisbane 80 minutes late after that aircraft swap. And apparently we're only going to be leaving Gladstone half an hour late according to the boards, but our plane's not even going to be here then. And I don't think they're going to be able to make up 50 minutes on a 50-minute flight. So I guess we'll see what happens. But at least the plane's on its way.
1717. This aircraft has an estimated arrival time of 16:45. We appreciate your patience during this delay. If there is any other way we can help, please see our team at the check-in counters.
I think she meant 6:45 p.m, not 16:45, because that'd be 4:45, and that went a while ago. plane's not even here.
Bags must not exceed 7 kilograms. And once on board, please place your small bag onto the seat in front of you. Smoking, vaping, and the use of e-cigarettes isn't allowed at any time.
There's not even a gate agent.
If you
Not sure who's making the announcements.
proceed through security screening in preparation for gate number 1.
My plane for today is just about to touch down from Brisbane. My beautiful plane for today is now just pulling in here from Brisbane as VA-1717. This is Victor Hotel, November Uniform Yankee. It's a it's not a 2000 build, it's a 1995 build Fokker 70 or Fokker 28 Mark 700. This aircraft was delivered new to Austrian in 1995 and was eventually transferred over to Airlines, I believe in 2012. It was transferred over to Airlines in 2019. My first time on a Fokker 70, it's the smaller, shorter and less popular variant of the Fokker 100. There's actually only, I believe, 20 of these in service, about 15 of which are with Alliance Airlines, but only, I think, probably 10 of them operate regular commercial passenger services, quite a few of which are operated on behalf of Virgin Australia, or for Virgin Australia.
There are all the boarding passes that you need.
Thank you very much. In case you didn't understand what was going on in that quick clip, the gate agent very kindly just reprinted my boarding passes, including the one for my connecting flight, which I may or may not make. That's me. They're manually doing the boarding passes. Let's get on board the Fokker 70. First, let's get some epic photos. What a beautiful aircraft. Hello. Good, thanks. How are you?
Thank you. Not a problem. Row 14 on the right hand side.
Thank you. Welcome aboard the Alliance Fokker 70. There's actually 80 seats in a 3-2 layout, with them all being in economy class. This aircraft's actually operated by Alliance fully for Virgin Australia. My seat for today will be 14A. Probably the best seat on the aircraft, on the left side, so you don't get the blocked view. What a beautiful view. Okay, I'm now on board with my seatbelt fastened. Welcome on board the Alliance Airlines Fokker 70. I am so happy to be on board. First off, we have an incredible engine view and wing. They're kind of almost touching at this point on a short plane like this. Legroom on this aircraft is a solid but not amazing 81 centimetres or 32 inches. It's definitely above average, especially for a regional jet, but compared to some of the older Fokkers, it's not as good. And also, when you lean back, the seats kind of go back a little bit as well. I'll show you the recline in a moment. But yeah, legroom for a regional jet is great, but not as good as the sister aircraft, the Fokker 100. The Virgin Fokker 100 has, I think, 33 to 34 inches, and the Qantas one has 34 inches, so but this is still very, very good, and it's certainly comfortable for the short flights this operates. And in the seatback pocket here you have the stuff that I've already put in, and it comes with a Alliance Airlines Fokker 70 safety card and a sick bag, and no edges, which is scaring me slightly. We also have here a massive tray table. Also, the cabin looks a lot like what I would imagine it looked like in the 80s on most planes. I don't know if they've changed the seat. I mean, they've probably redone the leather and stuff, but it doesn't always operate for Virgin, so I'm not sure why it'd be red, except for the fact that Austrian operated it until like 2016, so it's probably still the same cabin. And here's the big tray table. You can pull it out a little and push it in. There's a very nice and big cup slot there. It's not foldable, however, which I certainly wouldn't expect. There's no coat hook, and there's an ashtray, but obviously it's sealed. There's also no headrest, but that wouldn't be expected. The seat padding is very, very thick. And I'm just going to do a quick recline review. There's the recline. As you can see, the seats are very thick, and the recline is actually super generous for a regional jet.
Are expecting a full flight this evening back to Brisbane. Please place only your larger bags in overhead lockers and smaller bags under the seat in front of you. Backpacks, laptops, handbags, all under the seats in front of you. Thank you.
So that's about it for the seat features of this aircraft. The seats are very wide, spacious and thick, as they all were back in the day. And however, there's no particularly impressive seat features, but there's never really any of that on a regional jet. And as I said, for a regional jet, this is actually a very nice seat, and certainly good for the ride down to Brisbane. I didn't necessarily pick this flight because it was the most comfortable as well.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Josh, your co-manager this evening, and joining me in the cabin is Celine. Your captain is Robert Pearson, and joining him is First Officer Timothy Wilson. It's our pleasure to welcome you aboard Virgin Australia Flight 1720 to Brisbane. Our flight time this evening is approximately 45 minutes. Alliance Airlines operates this flight in partnership with Virgin Australia. On behalf of the team, we're delighted to look after you in today's flight. We'd also like to extend a warm welcome to Velocity members and guests from Virgin Australia's international partner Airlines. Please place any larger bags in overhead lockers and smaller bags under the seat in front of you. If you're seated in row 1 or 11, all bags must be placed in the overhead lockers. Once again, welcome aboard.
Cabin crew's giving instructions on the exit, which is good.
Ladies and gentlemen, whilst we know some of you fly with us often, we appreciate your attention during tonight's safety briefing.
Engine 2's getting started up first.
Government regulations prohibit smoking on all flights. Smoking on the aircraft is a fire hazard, and smoke detectors have been fitted in the toilets. Your seatbelt must now be firmly fastened. Tighten by pulling this strap, and to release, simply lift the clasp on the buckle. Seatbelts must be fastened whenever the seatbelt sign is illuminated. There are 4 clearly marked emergency exits throughout the cabin. Near the centre are 2 over-wing exits, 1 on either side. In the forward cabin, there is 1 on the left and 1 on the right. Ceiling-mounted and floor-level strip lighting will illuminate in the event of an emergency, with emergency exit pathways identified by floor-level lighting. If oxygen is required, masks like these drop from overhead and from the ceiling in the toilets. Remain where you are. Fasten your seatbelt and pull down firmly on the mask to release the oxygen flow. Hold the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Secure the mask by slipping the elastic strap over your head. Oxygen will flow through the mask. To inflate, pull down on the red toggles. If your life jacket does not inflate, use these mouthpieces. This whistle is used to attract attention, and this light will activate automatically once in the water. Additional adult and infant life jackets are located in the overhead lockers, mid-cabin on the right-hand side. The safety instructions card in the seat pocket covers all safety aspects of this aircraft, including the brace position and operation of life jackets. Please take a moment now to read this card.
Cabin lights are being dimmed.
do not change seats, and it's always best to keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated. On tonight's flight, we are offering complimentary spring water. For your comfort, this evening the toilets are located at the rear of the cabin. Once again, it's a pleasure having you
Virgin
aboard
did
this
say there would
evening.
be tea, coffee, water. No tea or coffee today. I don't really mind though. Crew are now coming around with water. Very quickly, barely even climbing out of Gladstone. Like in terms of, we only took off like 5 minutes ago. Already came around with the water service. Don't think they're getting anything else, but yes, still better than nothing. And at this time of night, I don't really want anything else anyway. Crew are friendly enough though. They did do it very, very quickly, however. I don't know how you know if it's vacant or not. There we go. Let's hope that worked. Well, welcome aboard the Airlines Fokker 70 Lou. Let's have a look around, I guess. First up, here's the loo. It's kind of it's a little bit different in that it's quite wide, but you don't have much leg room. But there's a fair amount of space to spread. It's probably better than like even a 737 loo. I accidentally left my headphones on when I got in here. But there's a very nice sized sink, disposal bin, zip bags, paper towels, and there's also some soap. But, oh, and of course tissues and a tangled claw, and a very interesting coat hook. But yeah, that's, oh, and an ashtray. It's glued, but it's still cool. Anyways, that's about it for the Fokker 70 loo. It's a pretty good loo. It's a pretty quick flight though, so I should probably get out of here. Just a minute ago, the crew have already come around to collect our rubbish, and we should be probably landing in Brisbane, I suppose, in 20 to 30 minutes. Very quick 50-minute hop. Stay tuned for the connecting trip report, by the way, to see if I make it.
So everyone remain seated for me, please. I do need to get the Cairns and Melbourne connectors passengers off first. Cairns, you'll be going to gate 40 Bravo, that's 40B. And Melbourne, you'll be going to gate 44 Alpha, 44A. So when you get to our gate, you'll turn to the right and head straight to your gate, thank you. So that's Melbourne and Cairns, if you could get off the aircraft first. And the Sydney connecting passengers, we're still waiting to confirm for you. Thank you.
Okay, so it looks like we probably will make our flight.
Turn on the largest devices away and make sure your bags in the overhead lockers are under the seats in front of you. If you're seated in row 1 or 11, all bags must be placed in the overhead lockers. Please face your seat, your tray table and armrest back to their original position. Make sure your window shade is up and your seatbelt is fastened. Virgin Australia are proud of the award-winning frequent flyer program Velocity. I would like to thank existing members and take this opportunity to invite new members to join. You can join for free by visiting the Virgin Australia website. You can earn points for flights, everyday purchases and when you use your credit cards. Thank you.
Okay, sorry I can't get a better view. I also have no clue what kind of altitude we're at right now because I cannot see anything except the wing and a little bit of the silver engine. Anyways, I think it's now about time, I believe, to conclude today's trip report. Well, my journey today started off at Gladstone Airport, where the check-in process, well, I didn't check in at the airport, I checked in online and then just got my boarding passes reprinted at the gate. I got there really early. I mean, it's an okay place to hang out. There's a cafe and slow but existent Wi-Fi. But it eventually did get a little bit more crowded, but it's still not a bad airport, and it's a relatively modern regional one. wasn't that impressed. There weren't many delay announcements or apologies made for the delay. Apparently it's not too uncommon. Yesterday's flight here was cancelled. But yeah, and then once we finally got aboard, almost an hour and a half, so it's about an hour and 20 minutes or so late, we managed to board and then get underway very quickly thanks to the Fokker's quick engine startup capabilities. When we finally got in the air, only drinks of water were provided. Unfortunately no tea or coffee. Well, not that unfortunate because I wouldn't have had that anyway, but it would have been nice to have the option. And Virgin, by the way, emailed me, and I believe Noel Phillips mentioned this in his Alliance Fokker 100 video. Virgin emailed me, just warning me as such, I guess, that this aircraft is a Fokker jet and will be operated by Alliance, asking me if I would like to change it to the next Virgin flight. I'm not sure what would happen if you said yes, because only Alliance jets operate this route, but I don't know. Just thought it's worth noting nonetheless, and it's just a bit strange how they changed the flight, and the earlier plane, which was Victor Hotel Quebec Yankee, for some reason you could only track the flights that it's scheduled to be on, but you can't track its past flights, which I thought was very strange. And then it eventually got changed a couple hours before, for whatever reason, I don't know. I also don't know why this plane didn't come up to get us earlier, since it had been at Brisbane for the last, I think, 18 hours prior to the flight. It arrived in late last night. Anyways, also the seat was pretty solid, and the crew are very, very friendly and helpful with our delay. So overall, I had a incredible experience on Alliance, is the best way to put it. Alliance/Virgin Australia. I don't know whose fault the delay was, but either way, I'm not very impressed with how they've handled it, except for that I think they're going to make it so I can make my connection. They have said that I can get off first along with the other connecting passengers. Overall, I'd say that I had a great flight with Alliance, mostly because it was a Fokker 70. It's an absolutely incredible experience and certainly on my bucket list, and I'm very glad to have got it done. I was going to go into the cockpit, but it's a little late for that since I kind of have a flight to get on. But in terms of the Alliance Virgin Australia customer service, it's a bit, definitely could be improved. Anyways, the options on this route are $169 for Virgin Australia or $219 for Qantas. Based off that $50 price difference, if you have Qantas status, then you may want to consider going Qantas because they do have a lounge there, but otherwise Virgin/Alliance is definitely the best option, considering the planes are slightly more comfortable than the Q400 and about the same as the 717. Anyways, enjoy the landing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brisbane. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off. Tonight we'll be exiting through the forward door. Please mind your step as you exit the aircraft. For safety reasons, please hold the handrail to avoid tripping and use a designated walkway to proceed to the terminal. For those passengers leaving us here in Brisbane, your luggage will be available from the carousel located on the ground floor of the terminal building. On behalf of all of us here at Alliance Airlines, it's been our pleasure to have Virgin Australia guests on board, and we look forward to seeing you next time we travel. Thank you and good evening.
Taxiing very fast here. Also, welcome to Brisbane, and that was a very smooth landing, I reckon.
If I could have everyone remain seated and just have those passengers connecting to Cairns and Melbourne through Virgin Australia make your way to the front as soon as possible when the seatbelt sign switched off. Everyone remain seated, and Cairns and Melbourne passengers make your way to the front as your planes are waiting for you. Sydney via Virgin Australia, please also make your way to the front with the Cairns and Melbourne passengers. Your plane is also waiting for you at gate 48.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, on the Virgin versus Qantas, if you can't get a Qantas 717, depending on the price difference, 717 is a pretty solid product as well, and you do get a small stack on this flight. But you would also normally get lounge access on arrival with my Velocity Gold status, but I most certainly don't have time for that. And FYI, Qantas operate I think 5 daily, maybe 4 or 5 daily flights between Gladstone and Brisbane, and they they tend to cancel one of them most days. Like they cancelled the 4 p.m. service today, and then I think they put the passengers on the later flight, which they also delayed, but I think it ended up taking off. And as for Virgin/Airlines, they operate a morning service and this evening service.
Cabin crew, door to manual and cross-check. Ladies and gentlemen, once stationary, the captain will shortly switch off the seatbelt sign. We do kindly ask, if you're not on any connecting flights, just to remain seated and let those passengers who are on connecting flights to the front of the cabin first. Thanks very much.
Already shutting down one of the engines. I've noticed Alliance and Virgin are very efficient in starting up and shutting down the Fokker aircraft.
Run straight to the right.
Thank you.
No worries.
Thank you.
Good luck with your next flight.
Thank you. Have a nice flight. Okay, well, I'd like to thank you all for watching today's video. A like and subscription if you enjoy it would be very much appreciated, but it's not necessary nor expected, but it'd help me out a little bit if you wouldn't mind. Also, check out my website if you like, where I have easier navigation to certain airlines trip reports and also information on upcoming flights. Also, be sure, if you like, to check out my Instagram at aviation763_ for live updates on my flights, and on stories obviously, and also just some cool photos that I post every now and again. And last but certainly not least, thank you to all my amazing Patreons who help to make these videos possible. Your support is so much appreciated, and yeah, I couldn't do what I do without them. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you have an amazing day, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you in my next one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Brisbane. Please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been switched off.